Hi! Elden Ring is one of the best games of all time. Shadow of the Erdtree is an incredible DLC. Truly mind-boggling what From Software has accomplished. The list of things I love is never-ending, but it indulges several sins I am going to bitch about, because they are the reason why every reviewer and essayist out there will call it a flawed masterpiece. See if you agree with any or all of them. Let's start with these guys. These guys are everywhere, and it's a problem. I understand there are lore reasons, but couldn't you just make a lore alteration that doesn't require you to spam these guys wherever I go? I wish you could just ignore them, but every time I try, I get projectile or dagger backshots when I'm engaged in actually relevant combat. So you are stuck with this no-win choice of tediously and trivially mowing them down like they're nothing, or getting obnoxiously harassed. I honestly have no idea what was the thought process behind cluttering nearly every zone with these worthless moves. Then there's the ever-present blob enemies. I don't know what it is with Miyazaki and his blob enemies. Exciting new types of blobs in the realm of shadow. They are funny when they ambush you from the ceiling, and that's about it. They are never, not once, interesting to fight, especially because they are always damage sponges for some reason. I will never understand them. They've been present in every Souls game. The DLC just takes it to the next level. These things are a consistent negative contribution to the experience. Honorable mention to the flymen and their constant non-consensual sucking, and the recycled insect men and their heat-seeking spine spam. They're either trivial or just confined to a certain area, but they're still extremely unfun. Last come the most egregious offenders of all, the furnace golems. The first one is such a great encounter, especially just the lead up to it, just how intimidating it is to approach it at all. Then you fight it, you figure it out, and it feels great to take it down. You find another, and it's still fine. It makes a lot of sense for this thing to be patrolling the gates to the castle. The fight is overlong, but it damn well should be. You're taking down this behemoth that roasted hundreds of soldiers before you came along. It's the third one that gives you the feeling of, so these are the Erdtree Guardians of the DLC, but they take 20 times longer to fight. By the time the 8th one rolls in, you are ready to not even bother and just jump off the bridge. Again, there are excellent lore reasons, Mesmer's army being so overwhelming and oppressive, but I don't care. The dead ones convey the message just fine. There should have been only 3 to fight. All others are a huge chore, and I resented each one no matter whether they were optional or not. El Fayel, Leyndell Capital, Raya Lucaria, Volcano Manor. These are only some of the amazing base game legacy dungeons I could clear 10 times over and not get tired, because I have and I still enjoy it. They are so well done and just fun to go through. Now, think about the DLC. Does any one of these areas give you the same feeling? For me, only Castle Ensis and Belurat kinda get there, but they're so early in the game, the enemies become trivially outscaled by the time you might want to revisit them. Overall, every location was a great time to explore with Butthole for the first time around, but I'm not really excited at all to go through them again with Your Father or Emo Princess. I don't know, they all have something that makes them unfun to revisit, a big part of which is the roasty spam that I already covered. And in particular, the Shadow Keep got tedious the first time around. With the whole dungeon blending together in shelves and wooden floors, it just kind of felt like something I'd already done before. You could make an argument for several areas being half-baked or somewhat incomplete, but I'm specifically talking about the Mad Abyss and Finger Ruins North and South. They're all guilty of having a ton of ground that's just not worth traversing. These are all optional areas. 2 of them you can only find if you're actively looking for secret passages or following a guide, so it's not really warranted to be all that harsh about this issue, but you know, there is no law that forces these places to be so damn huge. You could cut all 3 of them to be half the size and they'd be twice as good for it. Also, all 3 of them are plagued by the most obnoxious enemies in the entire game. Don't get me wrong, the balls of madness are really cool the first time around. The atmosphere is amazing. And then they become a huge annoyance when you die twice to them. And don't get me started on these fuckers. They need to be blended 1 finger at a time. No amount of pain will suffice to pay them back for the level of suffering they cost me when I tried to go ahead and engage with them. You know, kill the sniper. What a foolish notion, instead of running around and completely ignoring its existence like I should have done to begin with. Honorable mention goes to the jar blob jails, which all feel so similar to one another, and the tedious enemy spam reaches levels not previously thought possible. They're not that bad, but these really should have been way more fun to get through. This one may be the most common complaint you'll find out there. The loot is overwhelmingly underwhelming. There are some serious bangers to find, which always keeps you on the lookout for white shinies, but more often than not, you're going to get the most worthless piece of garbage you can conceive of. Unless you are speedrunning to the DLC, you're only going to get this far once you've progressed through at least half of the base game. And that's only if you take the barre skip, which many casual players won't even know exists. I'm slightly past getting excited for a Stone 2 by the time I get here. I understand it's part of level design to direct you or trick you into places, and not every piece of loot can be a game changer, but come on, man, just plunk down a rune arc, and I'll be delighted to be lured into your ambush, Miyazaki. Anyway, this topic has been beaten to death. Let's move on to my last point, and that is that it ends with a whimper, literally. The story has such a non-ending that it leaves you wondering whether you're done or not. You finally take down Supreme Homo Radan, you touch Mikola's shiny spot, and he cries a little bit, I guess. And then you're left in the arena, holding your dick in your hands. The French have a fancy word for what the DLC is missing. Denouement. It's an extremely common storytelling device at the end of your story, and you can think of it as the opposite of a cliffhanger. It's a low-stakes conversation or a collection of scenes or an epilogue or whatever that will ease you out of the climax and show some of the consequences. I suppose it's par for the course in From's hands-off approach to style, but it really feels strange not to even know for sure if it's over. There should have been something else. Just put some kind of final stop to this whole experience. I'll wrap this up with a compliment sandwich, because Elden Ring is a masterpiece and the DLC is worth every dollar at full price. So the fact that it overcomes all these shortcomings and confusing decisions to achieve greatness anyway goes to show the level of talent and artistry invested in the experience. I think we will always be stuck with these baffling gripes in otherwise incredible games with From Software, because genius and greatness never come without a certain degree of madness. Well, as far as I'm concerned, you can keep it coming.